ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देह गुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवास श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं सावधेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान विंतवास हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। प्रभु वो वाला टेक्स्ट भी, that text also
Oh yes, Prabhu.
1.2 1.2 point.
Oh, are you reading Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes प्रभु। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। शरणावतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तन हृदय अंत स्तो है अभर्दनी विदु विदुनोति श्रुत स्तः नस्तप्रायसु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टोकी। हरे कृष्ण।
Oh,
श्रीमद् भागवतम की
yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
We continue. This is chapter 15, text 38. Na karhichin matparah shantarupe nangshyatyanti no me nimishole diheti yesham aham priya atmashutascha sakha kuru suhrido daivam ishtam. Translation. The Lord continued, My dear mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulence are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor the change of time can destroy such opulence. Because the devotees accept me as their friend, relative, son, preceptor, benefactor, and supreme deity, they cannot be deprived of their possession at any time. Purport. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that one may elevate himself to the higher planetary systems, even up to the Brahmaloka, by dint of pious activities. But when the effects of such pious activities are finished, one again comes back to this earth to begin a new life of activities. Thus, even though one is promoted to the higher planetary systems for enjoyment and a long duration of life, still that is not a permanent settlement. But as far as the devotees are concerned, their assets and achievements of devotional service and consequent opulence of Vaikuntha, even on this planet, are never destroyed. In this verse, Kapila Deva addresses his mother as Shantarupa, indicating that the opulence of devotees are fixed because devotees are eternally fixed in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, which is called Shantarupa because it is in the mode of pure goodness, undisturbed by the modes of passion and ignorance. Once one is fixed in the devotional service of the Lord, his position of transcendental service cannot be destroyed, and the pleasure and service simply increasing unlimited. For the devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there is no influence of time. In the material world, the influence of time destroys everything. But in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there is no influence of time or of the demigods because there are no demigods in the Vaikuntha planets. Here, our activities are controlled by different demigods. Even if we move our hand and leg, the action is controlled by the demigods. But in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there is no influence of the demigods or of time. Therefore, there is no question of destruction. When the time element is present, there is the certainty of destruction. But when there is no time element, past, present, or future, then everything is eternal. Therefore, this verse uses the word nangshanti, no, nangshanti no, indicating that the transcendental opulence will never be destroyed. The reason for freedom from destruction is also described. The devotees accept the Supreme Lord as the most dear personality and reciprocate with him in different relationships. They accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a dearmost friend, relative, son, preceptor, well-wisher, or deity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Personality of Godhead. As a Bhagaram, were you about to read, Prabhu? You can read if you want.
No, Prabhu, it's okay. Continue करिए आप.
Able. A personality of Godhead as a dearmost friend, relative, son, preceptor, well-wisher, or deity. The Lord is eternal. Therefore, any relationship in which we accept him is also eternal. It is clearly confirmed herein that the relationship cannot be destroyed, and therefore the opulence of those relationships are never destroyed. Every living entity has propensity to love someone. We can see that if someone has no let's see. Okay, we can see that if someone has no objective love, he generally directs his love to a pet animal like a cat or dog. Thus, the eternal propensity for love in all living entities is always searching for a place to reside. From this verse, we can learn that we can love the Supreme Personality, Godhead, as our dearmost object, as a friend, as a son, and as a preceptor, or as a well-wisher. And there will be no cheating and no end to such love. We shall eternally love the relationship with the Supreme Lord in different aspects. A special feature in this verse is the acceptance of the Supreme Lord as a supreme proprietor. Bhagavad Gita is spoken directly by the Supreme Lord, and Arjuna accepted Krishna as his guru or spiritual master. Similarly, we should accept only Krishna as the supreme spiritual master. We speak of Krishna, we include his confidential devotees. Krishna is not alone. Krishna includes his name, his form, his qualities, his abode, his associates, etc. For example, a king is always associated with his secretary, his commander, his servant, and so much paraphernalia. As soon as we accept Krishna and his associates as our preceptors, no ill effects can destroy our knowledge. In the material world, the knowledge we acquire may change because of the influence of time, but nevertheless, the conclusions received from Bhagavad Gita directly from the speeches of the Supreme Lord Krishna can never change. There's no use of interpreting Bhagavad Gita. It is internal. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, should be accepted as one of the best friends. He will never cheat. He will always give his friends friendly advice and protection to a devotee. If Krishna is accepted as a man, as a son, he'll never he will never die. Here we may have a very loving son or child, but the father and mother or those who are affected by affection towards him always hope, may my son not die. But Krishna actually never will die. Therefore, those who accept Krishna or the Supreme Lord as their son will never be bereft of their son. In many instances, devotees have accepted the deity as a son. In Bengal, there are many such instances, and even after death, the deity performs the Shraddha ceremony for the father. Yeah. So the relationships are destroyed. Oh, sorry. The relationships is never destroyed. People are accustomed to worship different forms of demigods, but in Bhagavad Gita, such a mentality is condemned. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to worship only the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different forms, such as Lakshmi Narayana, Sita, Rama, Radha, Krishna. One thus one will never be cheated by worshiping the demigods. One may elevate himself to higher planets, but during the dissolution of the material world, the deity and his abode will be destroyed. But one who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead is promoted to Vaikuntha planets, where there's no time, destruction, or annihilation. The conclusion is that time cannot act upon the devotees who have accepted the Supreme Personality as God of Godhead as everything. Hare Krishna.
People.
Hare Krishna. Spiritual life is eternal. It cannot be destroyed. Whatever we have here in the material world is subject to destruction. In this material world, we aspire for a nice house, good property, children, friends, and riches, but ultimately all of this will be destroyed, including ourselves. Nothing here is permanent. Therefore, everything is called illusory. Actually, we do not understand this. We take all this as permanent. The fact is, however, that only Krishna is permanent. Krishna's material energy is not permanent. My body think that in the spiritual world there are no relationships. However, in the Shastras it is stated that in the spiritual world there is real life. Life in this material world is simply a shadow of that life. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this material world is likened to a banyan tree with its roots above and branches below. This means that it's like a shadow. When we stand beside a reservoir of water, we see the tree reflected upside down. We also have the experience of a mirage in the material world. We think that there is water, but actually there is none. Sometimes sailors at sea think that sometimes sailors at sea think they see land, but actually this is a mirage in the water. This material world is like that. In our lives, we think we're enjoying some rasa, some relationship. Our children are calling us father, and we're enjoying our relationship with our wife. But all of these relationships are like shadows. All the people have no information of this. The true enjoyment derived from these relationships can be attained in the spiritual world with Krishna. Krishna therefore comes in person to teach us that we can enjoy the same relationship with him. We can enjoy him as our master, our friend, our son, our father, or our lover. The Mayavadi philosophers say that if Krishna has become everything, there is no question of Krishna as an entity or a person. This is a materialistic idea. If we tear up a piece of paper into small pieces and throw it away, the paper no longer has an existence. However, Krishna is not like that. Advaitam achyutam anadyamanantarupam adyam purana purusham navayovanam cham. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into unlimited forms, still the same, original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Brahma Samhita 533. Krishna has many millions of expansions, and he is also situated in everyone's heart. He is not only within human beings, but within animals, trees, plants, aquatics, and so forth. It is materialistic to think that Krishna has no individual existence if he has entered into so many millions of hearts. Even though Krishna has distributed himself in many millions of parts, he is still present in the same strength. Krishna is Sarva Ishwarya Purna. He is never diminished. Haribol.
There is an interesting story of the poor.
Oh, you're muted. Vishnu Prabhu, you're muted.
Maybe he cannot talk right now.
Oh, okay. And
After program,
yeah, it might be.
Hibul, Himanshi Prabhu, is it your turn?
Okay, I'll read. An interesting story of a poor boy who was student in school. During an annual Father's Day ceremony, the teacher requested the students to give some kind of contribution. Formerly, teachers would not earn a salary but would receive whatever the students would bring their parents home or by begging. Generally, the Brahmanas were teachers and they could not charge anything. Some students brought teacher rice and some students brought other crops. This one student was so poor that he could not think of nothing to bring. Therefore, he told his teacher that he would speak to his mother first. This one Therefore, he told his teacher that he would speak to his mother first. After school, the student told his mother, "My dear mother, all my classmates have promised to contribute something to the teacher. What shall I contribute?" The mother replied, "My dear son, we are so poor that we cannot give anything. However, Krishna is the friend of poor. If he gives you something, you can promise it to your teacher. Or where is Krishna?" The little boy asked. "Well, I understand that he is in the forest," the mother said. Therefore, the little boy went to the forest and called for Krishna. He then began to cry, and finally Krishna came. When a devotee is very eager to see Krishna, Krishna is so kind that he comes. "So what are you asking?" Krishna said to the little boy. "Oh, you are the friend of the poor," the little boy said. "I am very poor, and what can I promise my teacher?" Krishna then told him, "You can tell him that you will supply him some yogurt, some dahi." The little boy was very satisfied with this, and next day he went to his teacher and said, "I will supply you as much yogurt as you need." The teacher felt this very nice, and he was pleased with the boy. One day, one on the day of the ceremony, the boy again went to the forest and called for Krishna. Krishna appeared and gave him a quart of yogurt. The little boy took his yogurt to his teacher and said, "This is my contribution, sir." The teacher looked at the quart, said, "What is this? Hundreds of people will be coming, and you have only given this much yogurt." The teacher became so angry that spilled the yogurt out of the container. When he bent down to pick it up, he saw that container was again full. He dropped it again, and it was again full. He could then understand that it was spiritual. Oh. This is the nature of Krishna. One can take everything, yet the same will remain. In the material world, 1 minus 1 equals 0. But in spiritual world, 1 minus 1 equals 1. That is called Advaya Jnana. There is no duality in the spiritual world. Okay, Advaya. Dvaya means two, and Advaya means duality. No duality. 1 plus 1 equals 1, and 1 minus 1 equals 1. If we love Krishna, that love will not be destroyed as love in material world. In the material world, a servant serves the master as long as servant is pleased and as long as master is pleased. Servant is pleased as long as the master as long as the master pays, and the master is pleased as long as the servant renders good service. However, in the spiritual world, if the servant cannot serve under certain conditions, the master is still pleased. And if the master does not pay, servant is also pleased. That is called oneness, absolute
A guru may have hundreds of disciples, hundreds of servants, but he doesn't have to pay them. They are serving out of spiritual love, and the guru is teaching without receiving a salary. This is spiritual relationship. There are no cheaters and cheated in such relationship. If we accept Krishna as our son, friend, or lover, we will never be cheated. However, we have to give up the false illusory servant, son, father, or lover, for they will surely cheat us. We may love our son with our heart and soul, but the very soon may someday be our enemy. We may love our wife very much, but someday the wife may be such enemy that she will kill us for our own interests. There are even instances in the history. Mayavadi philosophers are afraid of having such a relationship because they have a bitter experience with this relationship in the material world. They therefore want to neglect all relationships. Therefore, they say no more son, daughter, lover, master, or whatever. Being disgusted with these things, they try to make everything void. Yet, if we have the same relationship with Krishna, we will never be cheated or disappointed. Our enthusiasm will increase more and more. Therefore, Krishna encourages us to accept him as our son, as our friend, as our master. Then we'll be happy. Text 39 to 40. Imam lokam tathaivamu atmanam upyayanam atmanam anuyechetha yerayah pashavo graha vishrujaya shravan anyamscha mamevam vishvato mukham bhajanti ananyaya bhaktya tan mrityor atiparaye. Translation. Thus, devotee who worships me, the all-pervading Lord of the universe, with unflinching devotional service, gives up all aspirations for promotion to heavenly planets or happiness in this world with wealth, children, cows, home, or anything in relationship with the body. Uh, I take him to other side of birth and death. Unflinching devotional, yeah, unflinching devotional service, as described in these two verses, means engaging oneself in full Krishna consciousness. Our devotional service, accepting the Supreme Lord as all in all. Since the Supreme Lord is all inclusive, if anyone worships him with unflinching faith, one has automatically achieved all other opulences and performed all other duties. Lord promises herein that he takes his devotees to the other side of birth and death. Lord Chaitanya therefore recommended that one who aspires to go beyond birth and death should have no material possessions. This means that one should not try to be happy in this world or to be promoted to the heavenly world, nor should he strive for material wealth, children, houses, or cows. In modern context, I think it will be, nor should he strive for material wealth, children, houses, or dogs, rather than cows.
Yes, Prabhu.
How, how liberation is imperceptibly achieved by a pure devotee, and what the symptoms are have been explained. The situation with a conditioned soul is different. However, if he is in the mode of goodness, he may be preparing for promotion to the higher planets. If he is in the mode of passion, he will remain here in a society where activity is very prominent. And if he is in the mode of ignorance, he may be degraded to animal life or lower grade of human life. But for a devotee, there is no concern for this life or the next life, because in any life he does not desire material elevation. He prays to the Lord, my dear Lord, it does not matter where I am born, but let me born, even as an ant in the house of a devotee. A pure devotee does not pray the Lord for liberation from this material bondage. Okay, so whatever ants in your home, Sami Prabhu, they have prayed to take birth in your home as ant. Actually, the pure devotee never thinks that he is fit for liberation. Considering his past life and his mischievous activities, he thinks that he is fit to be sent to the lowest region of hell. If in this life I am trying to become a devotee, this does not mean that in my past lives I have 100% pious. That is not possible. A devotee, therefore, is always conscious of his real position. Only by his full surrender to the Lord, by the Lord's grace, are the sufferings mitigated. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me, and I will give you protection from all kind of sinful reaction. That is his mercy. But this does not mean that one has surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, has committed no misdeeds in his past life. A devotee always prays, for my misdeeds, may I be born again and again. But my hope only prayer is that I may not forget your service. The devotee has such mental strength and uh, and he prays to the Lord, may I be born again and again, but let me born in the home of your pure devotee, so that I may again get a chance to develop my spiritual life. Pure devotee is not anxious to elevate himself in his next birth. He has already given up the shot. He has already given up the shot of hope in any life in which one is born as a householder, even as an animal. He must have some children, some resources, some possessions. But a devotee is not anxious to possess anything. He is satisfied with whatever is obtainable by God's grace. He is not at all attached to improving his social status or the education of his children. He is not neglectful, he is dutiful, but he does not spend too much time on improvement of household, temporary household or social life. He fully engages in the service of Lord, and for other affairs, he simply spares as much time as absolutely necessary. Yathartham upayontyatah. Such a pure devotee does not care what is going to happen in the next life or in this life. He does not care even for family, children, or society. He fully engages in the service of Lord Krishna consciousness. Prabhu, I want here, if you can send me this text from, he is not, neglectful, he is dutiful. From there to Krishna consciousness. That much line I want. You can say. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that without the knowledge of devotee, the Lord arranges for his devotee to be immediately transferred to his transcendental abode just after leaving his body. After quitting his body, he does not go into the womb of another mother. The ordinary common living entity after death is transferred to the womb of another mother according to his karma or activities to take another type of body. But as far as devotee is concerned, he is transferred to the spiritual world in the association of Lord. That is Lord's special mercy. Because he is all powerful, the Lord can do anything and everything. He can excuse all sinful reactions. He can immediately transfer a person to Vaikuntha Loka. This is inconceivable power of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is favorably disposed to the pure devotee. In these verses, Kapil Deva is describing devotees' acceptance of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as most dear to us. If we want to love Krishna as son, Krishna is prepared to be our son. Arjun accepted Krishna as his friend. Krishna was his best. Krishna was his best friend. Everyone can accept Krishna in so many ways. We can love Krishna as Arjuna did, or as Mother Yashoda did. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj simply heard about Krishna and developed love. The first class yogi takes Krishna as everything. Priya, Sutta, Sakha, Guru, everything. This is real bhakti. If we want a son, Krishna is prepared to be our son. If we want a lover, he is prepared to be our lover. If we want a friend, he is prepared to be our friend. Whatever relationship we want in the material world, we can have with Krishna. We all have some loving propensity, and Krishna is prepared to pull this propensity. Uh, yeah, I think he can be brother also.
Does Krishna have little brothers?
Yeah, of course, because I think
Lakshman?
yeah, like Lord Ram, right? He had many brothers like Shatrughan and then Lakshman and like that. And also like there were many queens, right? So there were so many of his brothers and sisters like that.
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Whatever, if we want a friend, he's prepared to be our friend. Whatever relationship we want in this material world, we can have with Krishna. We all have some loving propensity. And Krishna is prepared to fulfill this propensity. Krishna is not person like ourselves. We occupy one body, but Krishna is the owner of all the bodies. The body is machine given by Krishna. In this material world, a father may give his son a car. Similarly, Krishna gives the living entity bodies. 8,400,000 different types of bodies. The living entity gets into the body just as a person gets into a car, and he goes this way and that. We can derive this machine called the body for so many years. Sorry, we can drive this machine called the body for so many years. Then it becomes old, and we have to change it for another machine. This is the process of birth and death. We drive one car for a while, and the car is finally broken or it is smashed. We may have an accident or not, but eventually the car has to go to junkyard. Then we have to get another car. So in some countries, these cars like only 10 years they last. Some countries may, for many years like that. Our
Yes,
body.
Prabhu.
Sooner or later, it's going to be 5 years or 3 years. And then in the name of saving the earth, the cars go last 3 years.
Right, bro. So actually, our position is that we never take birth and never die. But why we have been put into the position of accepting these machines? It's our real problem. What is the cause of this? We want to enjoy this material world with its wealth and possessions. As long as we are after material possessions, we cannot transcend the cycle of birth and death. However, we have to give up all this and take shelter of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worship Him. Nor can we worship Him whimsically, but as He desires. If Krishna says, I want a glass of water, we must bring Him water. We cannot say milk is better than water. I think I will bring him milk. This is not favorable, sir. Some so-called bhakta says, I can worship Lord in my own way. It is simply imagination. The Mayavadis say that Brahman has no rupa, no form. They suggest that we imagine some form. This is not the case with Krishna. Krishna is the present in his original form. And he is described in Vedic literature. We have recounted these descriptions before. If we want to attain body like Brahmas, we can get it. If we want a body like a Brahmin stool, we can get it. Or if we want a body like Krishna, we can get that also. That is our real body. That Chit Ananda. One can also get body like demigod and go to heavenly planets, or we can remain here in the material planetary system. Our destination is our own choice. We are given full freedom to our activities. By pious activities, we go to heavenly planets, and by Krishna conscious activities, we go to Vaikuntha Loka. Wait, by Krishna conscious activity, we go to Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka? I think both same one. We are part and parcel of Krishna, but somehow or other, we have forgotten this. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 117, it is said, Krishna bholi sei jiva anadi bahir mukha ataiva maya tare deha samsara dukha. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity, has been attracted by the external feature from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives him all kind of misery in his material existence. Because we have forgotten Krishna, Krishna has given us all these Vedas and the Puranas. Krishna also come into the material world in order to remind us of himself. In this Kali Yuga, people are forgetting Krishna more and more. They are not even interested in him. Krishna is interested because we are his sons. That son may no longer be interested in his home, in his father or mother. Yet the father never loses interest in his son. He is anxious because his boy has left home and is suffering. Similarly, Krishna's son leaves the spiritual sky and takes up the material body after another. And in this way, he travels from one planet to another in different species of life. Therefore, Krishna comes to rescue him. Yeah, there ends the chapter 60. So, anybody would like to read?
Haribol, Haribol. Okay, now let's go to Sixastakam prayers.
Oh, it's been an hour, huh?
Yes, Prabhu, I think.
They're very fast.
It's like listening to an audiobook.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, but Prabhu, Manu Prabhu's voice is very, good because we were hearing Vishnujan Swami lecture, right? It's very similar to Vishnujan Swami.
Wait, what?
Speaking.
No, what you say? John? And then in the same sentence, Manudas? No.
Maybe you can, when we make some reels or some festival videos, there we use some voice. So you can give your English voice. So that will be very.
I would say maybe someone is a little bit more qualified than me.
That would be pleasing to hear, your voice.
Really? So, like, what do you mean by like you want me to read or something?
No, not really. I think you saw that video of Ram Navami, where Subramaniam was speaking and narrating, I think, some text. So like that, you can narrate some text and we can put the video according to that, and it will be a very nice video.
Yes, with your permission, I'd like to do that, Prabhu.
No, I my permission. You can ask in our maybe to Swala Prabhu or Radhika Mataji or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, Bottom Prabhu, you need to send your video to Rishvani Mataji.
Maybe Prabhu, I can add him in
Hare Krishna
What, Prabhu?
Maybe I can add him in Hindi wisdom by in Hindi editing group. Here we have ISKM Hindi channel.
Yes, Prabhu.
Admin.
Admin of Hindi channel.
मतलब मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ प्रभु, जैसे आपको अगर वीडियो डालना है तो आप हिंदी चैनल पे डाल सकते हैं, ISKM हिंदी करके है, तो वहाँ पे आप जो है वीडियो डाल सकते हैं। तो उसके लिए मैं आपको आप वीडियो वगैरह भेजिएगा, है ना? तो स्वामी प्रभु को वो माता जी को फिर भेजेंगे और फिर जो है हम लोग अपलोड कर सकते हैं।
जी प्रभु, ठीक है।
So what's happening?
What happened?
So what we're gonna do?
Ashtam.
Oh yes, Prabhu. I forgot. But for the video, what we're gonna do?
For the
Prabhu,
video,
I will send you edited video. Actually, I added some background music like Damodar Ashtakam, and
yes, Prabhu.
I will send you again.
Yeah, प्रभु
Wow.
जैसे हम लोग क्या रहेगा कि आपको मैं ग्रुप में ऐड करूंगा एंड वहाँ पे जो ग्रुप में फिर आपको कुछ सर्विसेज मिलेंगी कि आपको ये चीज बोलना है, तो फिर आप उस हिसाब से आप वीडियो भेज सकते हैं और उसको हम लोग एडिट करके अपलोड कर सकते हैं।
Okay, okay, Prabhu. I will try.
Look what Dimitri Prabhu did today. This was amazing. He tried a new method.
Rajasic Puran and Tamasic Puran. In the Puranas, there are worship of different demigods. Just like in the Tamasic Puran, there is description of the worship of goddess Kali. Padma Puran is Sattvic Puran for men who are in the modes of goodness. So here it is said that although in the different Puranas there are recommendations for worshipping different kinds of demigods, but at the conclusion it is found that Vishnu, the supreme Lord, he is all. Even in the Shiva Puran, it is stated that Parvati, wife of Lord Shiva, she was asking Lord Shiva, just as which worship is the best. There are different kinds of worship mentioned in the daily literature. Lord Shiva replied, Aradhanam Sarvesham, Vishnu Aradhana. There are different kinds of worship, but the best and the supreme worship is worship of Vishnu. This is recommended in the Shiva Puran.
Wow.
Yes, how he did.
Hey, bro.
Tell me how he did this, because I can do like this. What is this?
I mean, how is
Bro.
So there are
which software he
It
is
looked like a movie trailer, bro.
Yes, Prabhu. And you know, Dimitri Prabhu did this all on phone. He tried
Wow.
first time a phone app.
Which app he is using, Prabhu?
Clean, 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 clean.
I think it was
Sushi.
Huh? If
this
you can
app,
tell me, I will. Oh, CapCut. Okay, this is I think an Apple app, right?
Prabhu, maybe.
iPhone app.
But this one, do you have this Filmora Go?
Yeah, this is also there. I have.
Yes, Somagiri Prabhu used this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. But in this app, Prabhu, there is no facility to add live caption actually.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just
that
tried. I
manual.
just tried to add some subtitles, but no
That we can add
facility there.
manually, no problem.
Yes,
Yes,
My
Prabhu.
goodness.
वो हम लोग मैनुअली ऐड कर लेंगे.
Okay, Prabhu. I will give you only video. So, Mataji or Swami Prabhu,
आपको मैं
whatever
पहले
you want to do.
आपको पहले मैं एक ग्रुप में ऐड करूंगा, वहां पे आप अपना वीडियो भेज
Okay, Prabhu.
व्हाट्सएप.
Thank you.
ओके.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagninirvapanam shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam vivartanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Nam nam makari bhavida nitya praktish takta pitani amitas mane nakalaha ita tushita vakipa bhagavama mapi deva menti samiha janinanuraga.
तृणादपि शूनिशेन तरोर अपि सहिष्णुत अमाननीय मानदेन कीर्तन्या सदा हरि.
ना धनम ना जनम ना सुंदरीं कवितां वा जगदीश काम्ये मम जन्मनि चरे भवतात्पत्ति.
Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavam budau kripa tava pada pankaja stita duli sadrisam vichintaya.
नयनम गलद अश्रुधारया वदनम गदगदया हृदया गिरा पुल पुलाकैर्निशिताम वपुः कदा स्वनाम ग्रहे भविष्यति.
Yugaitam nimeshena shakshusha pravasaitam sunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda vidahename.
आस्तिष्यवा पदारतां पिनष्टुमाम् अदर्शनान्मर्हतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु एव नापरः.
Haribo.
Evil.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh, my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings. And thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They're not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should attend the one should chant the holy name of Lord in the humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid all of the senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Hare Krishna.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I'm your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other, I've fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
Oh my God, oh my Lord, when my eyes be decorated with the tear of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hair of my body stand on the end at the recitation of your name?
Oh, Govinda, reading your secretions, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Lord Kapila
Jai,
ki jai, Panchatattva ki
Jai,
jai, Nityananda Prabhu
Jai,
ki jai, Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Jai,
Mahaprabhu ki jai, Jagat Guru
Jai,
Jai,
Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai,
Jai.
Ora Premanande. Hri Hri Bol.
Hri,
Hari
Hri,
Hari
Hri.
Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for again joining the reading session. And let's
Thank
continue.
you so much, Prabhu, for